the landscapes that we love are often farms. So when we buy food from those farms, we're not only buying food that's fresh and healthy and nutritious, but we're also helping support the health of the local economy and the environment and our general quality of life in these communities.
I think people have no idea how many little farms like ours are all around New York City and the other metropolitan areas.
We have over 4,000 small and mid-sized farmers in the Hudson Valley region alone on about 1,000 square miles of farmland, but that are barely surviving.
No matter how you look at it, our food system in America is dysfunctional. Large scale at one link in the food chain has encouraged large scale and eliminated all the small players all along the food chain.
This thrust that we've had towards cheap food since World War II has given us that. And yet the quality of the food is not nearly as high as what our farmers can produce. We have independent farmers here, but they're in a region where operating costs are much higher, and so they're at a tremendous disadvantage in trying to sell high-quality food into a system that's become increasingly globalized, increasingly industrialized and concentrated.
And the farmers who are doing the right thing are doing it against great odds, and that's got to change.
The battles that regional farmers face, the high cost of land, the maintenance of land, the low profit or the loss that they live with generation after generation.
A lot of farmers, small and big, are going out of business fast. Today, the farmer's receiving $1.05 for a gallon of milk, and it costs him $1.75 to produce it. How long can you last?
As development has sprawled out from New York City, we've lost a lot of our agricultural landscape to housing subdivisions and to shopping centers and to industrial development. And as we've gained all those things, we've been losing the working farms, and we've been losing the landscape that gives the sense of place to the whole region.
We're keeping the land viable for food production. Once it's lost, it's gone forever. Like, it's never coming back.
When we lose a local farm, it affects the very vitality of the community itself.
An awful lot of people see farmland as just land, but they don't realize that what makes it look the way it does is not just the fact that it's being farmed, but the fact that there's a whole culture that supports that. And it's a culture that's in jeopardy in many respects.
It's not only preserving the farms, but more important than that, for today and for the future, is preserving the farmer.
If the land is preserved but the farms can't make a living, it doesn't work.
These farmers, who are really independent business people, are contributing back into the economy. And sometimes that's just enough for people to realize this is very valuable. We really have to save this.
Glynwood's vision is a revival of farming and a revitalization of farming communities throughout the Northeast.
We do that by working very closely with communities and helping them understand what agricultural resources they have and what they can do in their own community to encourage farmers to stay on the land.
Glynwood's efforts get communities to really understand agriculture. Then communities can be informed and make better decisions.
Through our Keep Farming program, we help community residents gather the information that they need to take effective action. It's surprising when they find out how much the farmers in their small community spend every year on goods and services. Suddenly, the community leaders see the farmers as the economic engine that they really are.
You know, an operation like this has an expense account of $250,000, and this is a 40 cow herd. But that's $250,000 going back into the local community. Multiply that by 20, that's serious money.
I think that the Keep Farming program has the potential to create something beautiful, which is not just beautiful landscapes, but beautiful communities where there's understanding.
There are all these symbioses waiting to be rebuilt between the farmer and the eater, the producer and the consumer, and also the city and the rural.
And now there's this great desire of people to reconnect with local food and local farms, and there's this great growing market.
With that new market demand, there's a great opportunity, but we have to do what we can to help farmers meet that opportunity. And so part of what Glynwood is doing is also working on infrastructure issues. Now we're taking the lead in trying to increase the meat processing infrastructure available to the region's farmers.
If you're a livestock farmer, the weakest link in my mind is the whole question of what happens to those animals when they've come to the end of their stay on the farm and you need to slaughter them or process them, because there's just too few slaughterhouses around. It might even be the weakest link in the whole further forward movement of a local sustainable food system.
This is not an easy issue. If it was a question of a chef and a farmer getting together, it would have been done a long time ago. You need a place like Glynwood to rise above and to be the coordinating factor. And this is right now the #1 obstacle for the Hudson Valley.
So I appreciate that Glynwood's willing to look at the hard issue of how do you get a slaughterhouse started, what kind of distribution system would work, and how do we keep the support businesses going that allow farming to continue.
It's the kind of thing that I think we are really uniquely suited to do, because we can talk about our particular experience right here on the farm. We're exactly experiencing the same things that the other small farmers in the Hudson Valley, those that we're trying to help, are experiencing.
And we use our farm here to innovate and to demonstrate and to try and be the kind of stewards that we are encouraging in the whole region.
Small, well-run, diversified farms are actually an environmental benefit. You don't have as much biodiversity even in forest as you do in mixed working landscapes. The kind of farming that we're trying to do is working more in cooperation with nature.
The thing that I love about Glynwood is their bravery in trying new techniques. Of course, their successes are things to emulate. And they're super brave, and it's great.
The only way to preserve agriculture is to believe in its future. If we believe in agriculture, if we believe it has a future, then we have to cultivate shared awareness that it's essential to our survival as a culture.
Glynwood's role always has been one of dealing with these issues in a way that could create permanent sustainable change.
It's important to have an organization that is on the side of the farmers. They don't just encourage and support local farmers to keep farming. They encourage a dialogue between eaters and farmers, right? And that is what takes it really to the next level.
They're the connecting link that brings together what today might be considered broken fragments of an agricultural society, working towards regional food systems and distribution systems that can actually make it happen.
We help people understand that they have a real stake in the future of the food system. If we can build a thriving regional food system here, then we can help show that it can be done anywhere.
You know, as you go through life, sometimes you need a little recognition to help you through the days when things don't go quite so well, right?
I think they're cool.